You're listening to the CRG Chat with Ben and Dalton in the evening.
What's up, everybody? We're back. Welcome to a new edition. Something we've never done before, something we've wanted to do for a long time. And as you can see, this sounds like a radio show, and it's meant to be a radio show, but why are we playing a game, you might ask? For one reason and one reason only. Technical difficulties and foul lack of planning. We hope next episode of this, if it's going to go on for sure. It's new. It's going to be on a separate channel, and what that means is we're going to have a special channel devoted to a podcast with any member of the CRGA who wants to hop in and join. Guests, if we can get them. But I'm joined here with Dalton, and we're basically, I'm going to be playing. I'm not really going to be playing the game. Just going to kind of just play, and just do whatever. And we're going to talk about some like stories, like in the news, and then we're going to move to like a gaming section, and so on and so forth. So, Dalton, if you want to introduce yourself, you can go right ahead.
What's up, guys? This is Kicker 66. My name is my channel, Dalton Elliott, but I'm here.
Yeah, he's here.
I am here.
Yeah. He's running.
Right. Intro for you on my guitar, like kind of like this. Hold on.
Oh yeah, we can have an.
Hold on. It's just different stuff out there. I play all kinds of stuff.
No, basically, we have a news section. That's the majority of the section that the show, the episode show. Then we have a gaming section, which is about a quarter to half of it, depends on how long we, how we get into it. I have found a couple stories that we're gonna read off. Basically, the top stories in the news that are going around, and we're gonna basically talk about them and see, get into them and see how the viewers and the members favor. So, one of our stories, let me find the one that I had, if I can find it. There was a Waffle House shooting. If it was it, have you heard about that?
No, why would you shoot up Waffle House?
Well, it's the thing. That's the thing about it. Why would you shoot up Waffle House? Good question. Actually, if I'm trying to look this up, trying to find if they have a motive behind it, they actually caught the guy. He's on $2 million bond right now. Waffle House shooting suspect Travis how am I saying this name? Ranking, captured in woods with a loaded silver handgun. Police announced that the Waffle House shooter is in custody. Deadly shooting. It's in Nashville. This was in Nashville, Tennessee. He was arrested Monday, so today. More than a day after 4 people died and others were injured at the 24-hour restaurant in the southeast Nashville neighborhood of Antioch. That was actually one person was in Antioch, so actually that's not that far. If I'm not mistaken, that's near Murfreesboro, Tennessee. But he is. Oh, what?
TSU.
Oh, really?
I went to TSU to just look at the campus and stuff.
Oh, wow. Like, what do you think about it?
Me? Why would you rob Waffle House? Out of all the stores you can rob.
Well, I'm trying to find a motive here. Like, A tip from a construction worker. I'm reading this off. It says a tip from a construction worker led police to Travis. If I can't say his name right. I'm gonna say ranking. It's R ranking because reindeer or ranking. 29 of Morton, Illinois. At the end of at an end to a 34-hour manhunt, Ranking was carrying a loaded silver handgun and flashlight in a black backpack less than a mile from the shooting scene and close to an elementary school. Taken to nearby police requested a lawyer and refused to give a statement. Police spokesman down and said he was taken to the National General Hospital for being looked at into jail downtown on 4 counts of homicide. So as far as I know, there's no motive to that. There had to have been some kind of motive. I mean, it talks about psychiatric and whatnot, and in my opinion, I think that it's just another. I mean, yeah, it's what we would, it doesn't give a motive though.
I would never rob.
Well, it's possibly like one of those, psychotic episode. I gotta put my line up on my thing. Alright, next topic. Let me find it. I have another topic. But no, while I'm looking this up, I think that was one of the, kind of,
Who Snapchat? Shit, you going to bed? Sorry, that's off topic. Man,
yeah, I can hear you.
Cannot operate with you. NAT, like
what?
It just told me that we can't talk because the NAT you tired. Hold on, PlayStation. Yeah, it just told me that we couldn't talk. That's weird.
Oh, seems legit. Alright, what do you think about the... Hold on, wait. Okay. Here's a very interesting subject. Okay, you'll love this one. Alright, man who stole $1.2 million in fajitas. You heard me right, fajitas. Not money, not beer, not anything. Fajitas.
Was he Mexican?
I'm about to read this. Man gets 50 years in prison for stealing $1.2 million worth of fajitas. Alright, it says, the story goes, former Texas Juvenile Center employee who confessed to stealing $1.2 million in fajitas received a 50-year prison sentence last week. Officers last summer found fajitas in the fridge of Gilberto Escamilla, a then employee of the Cameron County Juvenile Justice Department, who later admitted to stealing and reselling the marinated meat over years. Quote, it was selfish. It started small and got bigger, out of control. Wait a minute. Who like he's talking like he has like somewhat of an addiction here. Okay. Who has a like it was okay. It was selfish. It started small and got big. It's not a drug ring. It's fajitas. You have control. If he doesn't have control, it's not a weed farm. It's fajitas. Escamilla said during his testimony. He quotes. It says it got.
Maybe he was like getting something like some kind of juice out of the meat and like turning it into something that he could use.
I think he was stealing fajitas. Maybe. I mean, I've never heard of anyone getting high off fajitas. It got to the point where I couldn't control it anymore. So this man is psychiatric in stealing fajitas. So he goes to say El Charro, for instance, or fajita. This dude's stealing your fajitas. This man is legitimately stealing your fajitas. So, an 800-pound fajita delivery sparked confusion last summer when it arrived at the juvenile center. Okay, this is a juvenile detention center, and they're delivering fajitas. 800 pounds, to be exact, of fajitas. in
Is he
San
still
Benito.
there?
He ordered them.
Oh my God.
The employee who usually receives such orders had taken the day off. A trail of invoices and vouchers eventually led investigators to Escamilla, totaling a theft of $1,251,578. Your thoughts on this? Like, give me your thoughts, your honest thoughts on this. Like, $1.2 million in fajitas stolen.
My honest opinion, I don't blame the dude. Sometimes people get hungry, but you got
Okay,
problems if you
sometimes
still
people
want
get
to
hungry,
do
but that gives. Sometimes people get hungry. Okay, so let me go still. $1.2 million in fajitas.
it. If you gotta spend that much of it, you got problems. Like, I understand if you're gonna go to a restaurant, steal one of their fajitas just to see maybe you can make it and copy it and sell it in your own little food truck or something.
It's fajitas.
For
What's there to
$1.2
copy?
million.
There's nothing to copy. It's fajitas.
I don't know.
What?
Maybe he was an undercover boss.
Yeah, he's undercover by stealing $1.2 million in fajitas. It's like, yeah, you know that Passage is Malibu? That's where he's
What?
going. He's going to Passages Malibu. Not because he's a drug addict, because he's a fajita stealer.
Yeah.
Like, okay, next story.
Sounds like Walmart. Sounds like Walmart Mall Cop 2 when he has to go under the girl's cone to get it.
Yeah.
Drip into his mouth.
Let me find my next.
All that just is for nothing.
Let me find our next topic here.
Fishing Planet.
Yeah. In other news, Fishing Planet. I've caught one fish. Let me think. Top news.
The whole time?
I've been top Jews. One person watched the stream, but I think if you're gonna steal $1.2 million in fajitas, why would you have it sent to the juvenile detention center? Basically, a jail. You're getting fajitas, you're stealing them, and you're getting them sent to the jail.
Yeah,
And he got away with it until they found it. He had no. This man got away with stealing $1 million in fajitas. Practically got away with it until he got to $1.2 million, and then they found him.
It took that much.
And the man got a 50-year sentence for it. That's what I don't understand. Why get a 50-year sentence for stealing fajitas? Like I mean, yeah, he's a rebel. I mean, you got one guy went in for murder. What you going for? I stole $1.2 million of fajitas. What you talking about? Yeah, he's real. Yeah, he's the next level savage of what it is. It's like, why?
Oh wow.
Let me think. I'm trying to look up our next story. Actually, that
DJ that just died. We can talk about that. He died at 28. Died a few days ago.
Who was that?
Last week. I'm trying to think of his name.
Oh, you know the guy who played Mini-Me on Austin Powers died last weekend too.
Yeah, he just died at the age 49.
Yeah. Just now I found that out today. It's
crazy.
I mean, you know.
God. I thought he was in like his 40s.
Okay, yeah. I found this one and I don't even want to read it because I'm not going to read that one.
Why?
Because it's kind of a, as I said, story, injured veteran, but he gets a transplant. Let me find her. I'm looking at news websites at the top stories here. Go to Fox. If you want to, you can look up some stories and bring up a top. Oh, yeah, hold on. What they're talking about now is a van crash. Have you heard about a van crash?
No.
Cops won't rule out terror in deadly van crash in Toronto. Suspect identified as a 25-year-old resident So he's a resident of Toronto, if I'm not mistaken, and he crashed a van. Van plows in the crowd in Toronto. 9 dead. Driver in custody. Cops say. Um, so 9 are dead. 16 injured in Toronto van incident. Hold on.
9 dead.
Yeah, 9 dead.
I mean, see,
9.
9 dead and 16.
It was it a Ford Transit van? No, if I'm not mistaken, that's a Ford Transit van.
Was it a Windstar?
Yeah. The 85 Mitsubishi Colt Vista wagon rolling up in here.
Wow. It was a Volkswagen V8.
Well, yeah.
Souped up Volkswagen. No, it was a hippie van with a V8 engine in it.
Oh, I just found this out. Okay. Former President George Bush hospitalized for blood infection. For those of you who do not know, Mrs. Bush.
I thought he had like a rare.
Well, you know his wife died last weekend, and now he's in the hospital for a blood infection, which is in a sense it's kind of more or less it's. I don't want to say it's ironic because that's not the term I want to use, but it's more or less kind of a stroke of bad luck. I mean, granted, he's 93 years old. The story goes, hey, hold on. The story goes, a 93-year-old former president was admitted to Houston hospital for treatment just one day after the funeral of his wife. So he got put in the hospital one day after the funeral of his wife, First Lady Barbara Bush.
Oh, so he probably ain't gonna live longer. Listening to him.
Oh.
Talk about Donald Trump.
Talk about Donald Trump. Okay. Well, let me think. Let me get a topic put up here that I can talk about.
Him being sexist.
Okay. Well, let's talk about that.
Or actually, why he would send the Mexicans back over.
Well, if you think about it, I think that's a misconception of what people actually hear. If you read it, if you hear what he says closely, he talks about he talks about getting first of all, he says that he's going to deport illegals. And good lord, that fish flew out there. He says he's going to deport illegals, right? But the misconception of what it is a lot of people, well, a lot of Hispanics and whatnot, they think, oh, he says he's going to deport every Hispanic male and female and kid in the country. There's no way you can do that. I mean, even if you had the right to, there's no way. That's like saying, okay, have you seen like South Texas?
Yes, my grandma used to live in South.
That's
Texas.
all the community is down there.
Yeah, the valley. Oh my god.
Yes,
dude.
and not to mention, Los Angeles and San Bernardino and all those, Reno and whatnot. It's not the people. They take the news in general. It's not just Trump in him. It's the news in general. It's like the same thing on guns, which I get to that topic in a minute. That's a good topic we should talk about. They take one word, they take half a speech he says, retake the words, and then put it into the media, and the media messes things. The media, it's really, in my personal opinion, my own personal opinion, CNN like news stations like that, I don't even watch because of how like they change it of how it really is. You know, and it's
Yeah,
kind of
like
like
some
they
news based on
well, you have a panel of Democrats, only Democrats, and you get a guest star on there, not a star, but a guest like speaker, and he's a Republican. What do you think is going to happen? You don't have any argument because that's how the Democratic Party works. It's say you have two wolves and a sheep, and they're deciding on what to eat. Majority rules. I mean, it's kind of that's what I believe that the Democratic Party is in a sense. In my opinion, I mean, I don't think that what the you Fox News is they have their whatnot, but they are mainly what I think they're pretty good on when they talk about stuff because they go with the truth. They know what they're talking about. There was one girl on there one time. She wrote an article for Teen Vogue. Yeah, it was Teen Vogue. I watched this and it was actually the funniest thing I've ever seen because she's on there and she's talking about in her stories. She writes an article about Donald Trump, right on that topic you were talking about. Right next to the topic of Trump, it's talking about Ariana Grande's thigh-high boots. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, it was Tucker Carlson who was like interviewing her, and and she was talking about he threatened the sovereignty of a religion, and I can't remember exactly how she explained, but what she explained was not the sovereignty of a religion, and he never threatened a sovereignty of a religion, and she basically got roasted on live television, and she didn't even know it. Like, she knew it, but I guess she was embarrassed to even say. And it's bad because you get these sheriffs and whatnot who know what they're talking about because they've been in the real world. They had one sheriff. He was a sheriff, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, Wisconsin or somewhere. And he was, he's a black sheriff. So they get him on CNN, and they're talking to him, and it's a panel of Democrats, and the guy's Republican, and he doesn't like. They're sitting there just like, and he's still firing back at him because he knows what he's talking about, and they're sitting there just blaming off these false claims of what Trump did. And he's like, no, you're wrong because he never even said that, and they had this guy basically run up to the ringer on stuff, and you get people like feminist. If you're a feminist, I'm not hating or you do what you want to do, but you get people like that take what's been said, them and the media and the neo-Nazis and everybody. It's kind of sad of what the media is now. Because you can't. I mean, it's like saying you want to watch some good news. Well, why are you watching X News 5? Because that's a local news station. If you're away, he knows what I'm talking about. But what that is every day there's no good news on there. It's just the same thing. It's a killing after killing. When Jim Strickland, on a new topic, when Jim Strickland there's so much crime in the country now. Mayor Jim Strickland, when he first got elected, they were having this meeting. Man stands up, he stands up on the table, and he's talking to the guy. He's yelling, and they're talking about how they don't care about the elderly. They're talking about how they don't want to help the elderly, and how they would rather help the young people, which it's understandable to help the young people, but don't forget about the people who actually worked for 65 years, and they've earned to be, retired and whatnot. They've earned to, in my opinion. But to them, they would rather hand out money to a kid, doing drugs on the street not even have a job. Well, Jim Strickland, he told him, he said, the guy asked, it was a kid, he got on, he's like 19 years old. He said, we asked for a chance. He said, all we want is a chance. Hear us out. So Jim Strickland made a deal with him. He says, all right, if you can, if there's not a killing in Memphis, the city of Memphis, anywhere in the city limits for 24 hours, I'll hear you out. Not, I think it was like 4 hours after he said that, 2 killings.
Wow.
The very next day, on morning news, not 24 hours after he had said that, not 5 hours after he said it, if I'm not mistaken, 1 killing had happened. I mean, and it's
crazy.
It's bad, and it's Memphis, it's Chicago, they're beautiful cities. You just got to know where to go, and it's like the same way as in New York. New York, Times Square is a beautiful place, but you get into New York, like the real New York, and you'll find out that there's trash all over the street. It's just a dirty place. And I'm not saying if you live in New York, I'm not saying it's a bad place to live. I'm just saying that it could be a lot better than what it is. But that's really all I had to say on that topic. Next topic. I actually brought it up in the last topic. Gun control. What do you think about it?
Yeah. Honestly, I don't know much about it, but what I do know is that all the time students going to rant about people don't need guns and stuff, and they need to make certain guns illegal, like an AR-15, not fully automatic, just a single shot, semi-automatic. See, I know from experience that it's a dangerous weapon, but the kid, the Florida shooting kid, he had extended clip, and he had changed it to where it was fully automatic. So that was his problem. He did something he wasn't supposed to. Why would you get mad at everybody else for not doing nothing? He's the one that did something he wasn't supposed to do.
The thing that gets me the most is they.
What are you gonna? And like, even if you do make those guns illegal, what are you gonna do about the people that already have those guns?
Well, they talk about it like. Well, the thing about it is they say, like you said, the AR-15 is a dangerous gun. Yeah, it's a dangerous gun, but so is a 22. 22 Marlin, it's not as powerful, but it's just, it'll kill somebody, shoot them in the head with it. It's just as, in a sense, in the same way, can kill somebody. A 30-30. It's so
yeah.
They pick on
I got something.
such on an AR-15 when they don't really,
Yeah. Okay, so look, I seen this video on Facebook the other day. This dude had a pistol, a 9mm, and he had a semi-automatic rifle that had these same exact bullets on it. But they want to ban the semi-automatic rifle and not the pistol. Okay, another dude, the same dude, he had another gun, and it was an AR-15. The bullet, AR-15 bullet's about 3.5 inches, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's about in between 3 and 4 inches. Okay, then he pulls out a deer hunting rifle, and that bullet is almost 6 inches. He's talking about how they want to ban this little tiny itty bitty bullet and this little tiny itty bitty gun, but they won't say shit about this big ass gun.
In my opinion, I think that the way they do it is not really right in a sense, because it's sad to see, when the threats were going on right at school. They were talking about how what happened. I'm not gonna go into that, but I walked in and there's these sheriff's deputies, right? They are there because of a school shooting threat, correct?
Yes.
Not one of them. Not one of them has a gun on. Neither one of them's armed. First thing I looked for was a
That's what
sidearm.
I don't get. Okay, look.
Didn't have one sidearm on.
Yeah. They didn't have a nightstick, did they? At
No,
all.
they didn't have anything. They had their duty belt on, but they had their guns in their squad car. That's the bad part about it. Why? Okay, I'm Second Amendment all the way. I believe that you have the freedom. Why has it gotten so bad to where a police officer can't even a deputized officer of the state, the county, can't even carry a firearm because of a school shooting? What Lake River am I at? I am at the Lone Star Lake. But I mean, it's
Okay, so.
oh.
What are you saying?
I was just gonna say, like, it's bad because there's, I think, in my opinion, why not have it someone in a place like that armed? Why not?
Yeah. I mean, that's why these things are starting to happen right now, because when a school shooting happens,
Oh yeah,
one
where you
reason
at?
another one happened after that, another one after that, is because they want to take away any guns inside of any building, even from the officers. And, make it
Well,
where
my question is, how is
nobody
somebody
has
supposed to
any
feel
kind of gun.
safe when a police officer, but the police officer ain't even got a firearm on him?
Yeah, even if he
Tell me,
leaves it
how
in the
is
car, by the time he goes
anyone
out to the car,
supposed to feel safe when a police officer there without with no no sign of a firearm whatsoever? Somebody
can't,
walked in with
you just
they
can't.
had that distance between the door and their car, and their door's locked, so they had to unlock the door. So that's every second counts.
Yeah, by the time you get back into school, almost
If they
everybody else is
make
dead.
it, granted, if they make it, because they're
Yeah,
the sitting targets. Because that's the first one
probably.
somebody wants to take out as an unarmed officer.
Yeah, that's a big target right there. Is a dude that can actually do something.
Darn, this dude can catch 20-pound fish. That is nice. Where you cat? I can only catch
Okay,
about
man.
one,
So
two
at my
pound fish.
new school, since it's since my school is so big, we have like over 150 classrooms, and it's a two-story building that stretches almost I think 3 football fields long
Yeah,
and like 2 wide. It's pretty big. So we have an officer on well, a security guard on the end of every hallway, and I believe every one of them has a taser. You just can't see it. It's like
yeah.
they have to take their shirts and
That's
shit,
something
and
better. I mean, they didn't have They didn't
like
have
their shirt. Like,
a tase or anything on. They didn't have the first sign of any kind of defense. They had probably mace, and that's it. What's a mace going to do? You got to be up on somebody to use
and
mace.
then outside we have actual like officers that stay at the school during certain hours that have guns and stay by their car just in case anything goes down. They can just walk 10 feet and be at their car. And we have a huge freaking six like six no not even six it's like an 8 foot tall fence that goes all the way around the whole building. That way nobody can get in, nobody can get out. They leave one gate open for the students to come in and leave as they go. But there's an
Yeah,
officer sitting out there watching. So like I feel safe in my school. But inside the school I don't know.
yeah. Warrior Cat, we'll get you in
And
here.
then
If
okay.
you can wait, like, we're not gonna go on too much longer. This is, um, I'll put you in here in a couple
We're going
seconds.
to like
What?
we'll just go on until like 9:35
Yeah, we'll go
about
on
that.
to about. If you're gonna be on to about 9:30,
But anyway,
we'll put you in here. But
alright, so I got another topic. They're wanting to train every teacher at every school and give them a firearm. That is the worst thing you can do.
well, in a sense, it's not. But that I know that good and well that's not gonna happen.
Yeah,
If you
they
have it
want
that
to
bad
do
where a
that.
police officer can't
It's
carry a gun inside of a school, what makes you think a teacher is gonna be able to carry a gun inside of a school? Let
exactly.
alone
So like,
talk about it.
what if a student pisses the teacher off? They're gonna pull their gun out and threaten them to shut up, and then nobody's gonna feel safe, and everybody's gonna want to die. And maybe one day one of the teachers messes up one night, and they come to school hungover or high the next day and decide to shoot up some people. What are you gonna do then?
I don't know. All right, Warrior Cat, you can go on. It's Ben Tyler 03 if you want to add me. New topic, like a new segment or anything. This is our car segment. We're both kind of semi car fanatics. What are your thoughts on the 2019 Camaro?
Haven't seen it.
You haven't seen it?
Look it up.
Well,
I've seen the new
okay.
2019 Chevy. So
Well, you know the terrible facelift that the 2018 Mustang had.
But then so like fat on the front and wide, and the back wasn't big enough.
Yeah, well, Camaro basically said, "Hold my beer," and they took the facelift and just it's just terrible. I mean, a lot of people. It's getting like it's not. I'm not the only one hating on it. Like a bunch of people, even Chevy owners, are hating on it because it's just ugly. Yeah, I mean, it's not a appealing design. You're looking at it right now.
Like Shrek. It was like Shrek imprinted his face on that car, and they just sliced the forehead off.
I've never seen something so bad.
Like that was like a no, like the front end of a truck should look like.
It's terrible. That's and like
truck,
on another note, one of the best things, two great news that it actually heard a while back. The 2020 Bronco are coming back. The Broncos are coming back, and 2019 the Ford Rangers are coming back. As well as a Ranger Raptor.
A what?
A Ranger Raptor. It's Ford Raptor Ranger. Mini Raptor.
Oh my god. That's a 2019 Ranger.
Yeah, Warrior Kid. I'm in a random
lobby. Like a
random room. It looks nice. I mean, it's not a bad looking car. Like, it doesn't look as bad as the Camaro. I'll tell you that right now. That does not look as bad as the Camaro.
It looks like a Toyota Tundra. I mean.
That's the thing I don't like about the new Nissan Titans. They look just like Ford F-150s.
Exactly.
Like the older gen, like 2000, I think maybe 10. But they have a resemblance of a F-150, and I kind of think that's kind of a theft, which it's not the same design. In a sense, it is, but it's not.
Oh my god! Look at the 2019 Titan. What are they doing?
The 20. Seems legit. That is. Oh my lord, that is actually if you're watching the stream and you're a car person, and you found out we have a car segment, please like give us your thoughts on these cars, and like it's honest, it's whatever you think. But I think that like
interior.
Oh my lord, have you heard of a Callaway Corvette by some chance?
I've never heard of that. I'll look it up though.
Well, it's called an Aero Wagon, and it's a station wagon, right? It's like a Mustang sport wagon from the '60s. It's a concept that they made, but there's a company called it's called Callaway, and they make Aero Wagons. So basically, in a sense, it's a Corvette station wagon. It's not new. I mean, it's been out for a couple years. It's not.
There's no difference except for like the very back. It's just straight instead of dropping down to a spoiler.
Yeah, they're fat though in the back. They make them a whole lot fatter. I've seen one from like the rear. It just looks different.
Like, it looks like a regular Corvette. It's just got a window that goes.
It's like
up.
The Mustang Sport Wagon that the concept that they had back in the '60s for like a couple years. It was a Mustang, had a Mustang front and everything, but had the station wagon back, had a hatchback, but the back end was the exact same.
Yeah. Alright, hold up. I got a core. Okay, so I'm gonna look up 2019 Ford Mustang.
The 2019 Ford Mustang, they don't look that bad. The GT500, that's the biggest controversial car that's out, in my opinion, on the market right now. And a lot of people don't even know that it's coming back. And a lot of people, they're thinking, oh, it's not going to come back because it's just concept art. But Ford has talked about this car. Shelby American Ford representatives have actually they've been in a conversation about this car more than one time. Supposedly having 700 plus horsepower, and from the pictures, I don't even know if it's going to look like this, but the pictures look amazing of this car.
They do. I'm looking at them right now.
He looks mean. Like, he just looks bad. Alright, I will worry that. But I was talking to, he was wanting me to fish with him. I'm gonna finish this talk show up in a couple minutes and I'll do it. But
dude, wow, it does look bad. So it's have you seen the hybrid?
Oh yeah.
They're racing.
Mm-hmm.
Hybrid.
Like, it's like the boss stuff through like S. Like, nobody knows about it, but it's like there. It's like 800 horsepower. Got a big drift wing on the back of it.
Yeah.
But anyways, moving on to our gaming section. One thing I want to talk about, like the main game I want to talk about, is Red Dead Redemption 2.
That's what I was going to say.
And why I want to talk about this, for one, it's one of the biggest games coming out at the end of this year. If it comes out this year, because the main point I want to talk to you about is why has it not come out yet? And the reason I say this, if you do not know, the Red Dead Redemption was... The first time it came out, it was the trailer, the first ever trailer that came out on TV, the only trailer, if I'm not mistaken, that's ever came out for Red Dead Redemption, came out on an episode of The Walking Dead one time, I think once or twice, on I think season 7 of The Walking Dead. Not sure what episode. And it was the teaser trailer, the trailer number one time, and it said fall 2017. And this was in late summer, early fall, so people were getting really anticipated for this. They were like ready. They wanted to see it. Well, fall goes through.
Right back. I gotta use that.
Alright, I'll go and talk about this. But fall rolls through, and then it goes to the point where it's wintertime, still no Red Dead Redemption. Well, then they come out a month later and say it's going to come out in spring. Okay, that's one setback. It's not that big of a deal. Okay, you get there, and you have spring come around, 2018. No Red Dead Redemption, no trailers, no anything. Okay, well then summer rolls back around, and then I think at the very end of the last, I don't know, I can't remember what year, but you get this trailer where it's talking about, it has gameplay in it, and then you find out a little bit more about the story, and come to find out it's it has Dutch Van der Linde from the original Red Dead Redemption and Dutch's gang. So possibly John Marston's going to be back. I don't know. Bill Williamson. If you look at the cover art of them walking, it's like the red sun. If you look that up, if y'all want to. Oh, hey. It shows Bill Williamson, John Marston, Dutch, and a couple others. But it basically...
I thought John Marston died.
He did. Well, this is a prequel.
Huh?
It's a prequel. It's set before Red Dead Redemption. Because Red Dead Redemption was set in 1911. This is set in in the late 1800s, if I'm not mistaken, early 1900s, 1800s, before John Marston goes after before Red Dead Redemption. But if I'm not mistaken, why he's still in the gang. But you get this trailer, so you're thinking, oh, it's going to come out in October because they said it was going to come out in October, right? Nope. Spring comes and they push it back to December 29th. New Year's Eve, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Very close to New Year, a year away. They pushed it to a year away, practically. And a lot of people hated it because they did, and I'm hoping that this is the last setback that they're going to do. Because it's the most anticipated game, and I think that they're trying to, in a sense, I think they have the game completed right now. I think they're sitting there playing it, and they're just fixing out the bugs, but I think you could pre-order it right now if you wanted to and play it and be happy with it. But I think that Rockstar, what they're doing now is just trying to get people more anticipated to spend the money faster on it.
Yeah, but the thing is, if they don't release GTA and Red Dead Redemption at the same time, GTA 5 is gonna die.
GTA 5, it's going to die anyway. I mean, yeah, it's going to be like GTA 4. You're going to find like maybe 50 to 100 people playing it because they've done farmed it since it came out in 2013 and they just don't want to lose it. But at the same time, I feel like it's going to, in the majority, it's going to die. If when Red Dead Redemption 2 comes out, GTA and Red Dead Redemption, it's going to die. It's just going to go. And that's not even the same genre. It is, but it's not even the same, like...
Rockstar? I think Rockstar in general is going to die out soon.
Well, they're in a huge battle with Ubisoft. Ubisoft. It's not Ubisoft, it's Ubisoft. They're in a huge battle with them because a lot of game developers, or a lot of representatives and everybody who was working for Rockstar, that went over to Ubisoft because they're paying better and they're doing better, a whole lot better than Rockstar is.
Yeah, Rockstar, like, the only two major games they make anymore are Red Dead Redemption and GTA.
Well, they messed up because they fired a guy and he leaked images. He got fired. He had images of Red Dead Redemption 2. That something leaked that something out on the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I've been trying to catch, Warrior Cat. I ain't been able to catch none on this. On Lone Star Lake, I had to go to Mudwater River, to catch him. About 2-pound catfish. Yeah, alright though. But it's, I don't understand.
I still play San Andreas. I think more people play that than they play Grand Theft Auto 4.
A lot of they're putting GTA 5 mods, like the FMJ mod, into San Andreas. Like, that game was set, it came out in 04. Even so, oh, you just caught one, that's nice. Even so, the game itself is set in there it is, late 1980s to 95, I think. And it's like, you'd think, like, why put, but in a sense, I don't, a lot of people say graphics don't make a game, and in a sense that's true. I agree with that. But there's so many, I guess they grew up playing it, and to be honest with you, if Call of Duty World War II, not Call of Duty 2 Bigger Good 1 was out right now, for like, if I had that, I'd be playing it right now. I wouldn't even be worrying about my YouTube career, because I grew up playing it.
Which one did you say?
Big Red 1. That was my first one. That was my first Call of Duty ever. But, you know, you get to, it's like bad how it is.
Yeah.
But, you know, that and like VR itself. And I just got this picture, Ka-chow. That is that's funny. Ka-chow. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's gonna be. I think that's it. I think that's all we covered this episode. I think that's about it. I mean, we really could. I mean,
Wednesday.
we left. Granted, we left a couple things out, but instead of, I mean, we could talk all night on this stuff. But I think we covered the majority of my. I mean, I don't have anything else to talk about. Do you?
Not really. Wait. How about that dude hacked Fortnite's Twitter and posted that stuff saying it would end 24th of May?
Oh, what about that? I didn't even hear about that. Oh,
So like, what happened? I got the picture of the actual tweet on my phone.
yeah.
Screenshot. So hold on. No, okay, so it goes. Due to a lawsuit against PUBG on copyright infringement
Yeah. I read about that.
against PUBG, saying
Yeah,
we
that
put
was
a
all.
lawsuit.
I mean, that's just one of them attention getters. That ain't nothing.
Yeah.
That same thing is like, they're fighting it.
What they were saying, like, you can tell this was fake because it was saying against PUBG, saying we put a lawsuit on PUBG when PUBG actually put one on Fortnite. Okay?
Yeah.
We are sorry to inform that Fortnite Battle Royale will be coming to an end May 24th, 2018. Battle Royale? Why would... Okay. On console, not PC.
I don't know.
Fortnite came out on console. What PUBG did. A few months. It was dumb.
I don't know.
This dude had
But
no clue what he was doing. You know that, right?
yeah, he was just he
Then
knew. I mean, he was just trying to get attention for
everyone
himself.
was still being just to get attention.
Yeah.
Honestly, I would not have been happy with myself. Knowing I would get caught.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's about it. We're gonna do this, and I'm gonna get with you, Warrior Cat. Yeah, I will. Let me go on and in this, and I will get to you like as soon as I get done doing my outro here. But if you want to see more, we want to do a new YouTube channel for this first ever talk show. It's going to be more legit as we go on, but this was the first one. We talked about it, and I actually kind of really enjoyed it, and I hope the people watch this do too. This is going to be on my main channel. This is kind of just the first one to see how it is, and every other one is going to be on my new channel. The link will be in the description when it gets put up. But until then, this is all we have time for today, so we'll catch you guys later. Peace.
Alright, no, Ben, don't end it yet.
Why not?
I gotta say something. We should do this, like, okay, starting the week. We should do this on Monday, and then do like a gaming video on Tuesday, and on Wednesday, and gaming video on Thursday. Friday, do this again, and Saturday, do again, the day off. Then you start it.
Yeah.
That would be fun, but it's just time consuming.
Yeah. Well, so yeah, we could do that. But anyways, we're gonna come up with like it's gonna be like a whole lot more legit, and we're gonna have actually like it's gonna be more of a radio show. This is just a stream of us talking, but it's gonna be more of a radio, like a not necessarily music, but it has intros, outros, commercials, so on and so forth. Uh, each break, new segment coming back in. So with that being said, that's about all we have time for today. So we'll catch you guys later. I'll see you next time. Peace.
This has been the CRG Radio Chat.